You know what's picking up on this, right?
Yeah, and we're going to edit it out.
All right, that's fine. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that. You're all too kind. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Night Run. I'm Dion McElrath. You should know that by now because I've been doing this show for about 8 months. Lots of stuff to talk about here at the top of the program, but first of all, let's start off by saying I missed all of you. All right, let's go ahead and get right to the monologue. The curfew recently expired at the top of the month for the state of Ohio. Daddy DeWine has ungrounded us, and things are starting to somewhat get back to normal in regards to bars and restaurants. It's about time, because I don't know how much longer parents are going to be able to home educate their children. They're losing patience, and they're calling them these hard-headed ass kids. It's rough in these streets. Amtrak is pursuing expansion here in the Buckeye State with the proposed 3C corridor. It might sound familiar to some of you. It was proposed back during the Kasich administration, during the mid-2010s, if you will. And it is a proposed rail corridor between Cleveland and Cincinnati via Columbus and Dayton, called the 3C corridor. It would bring back quite a bit of vibrancy here to the Gem City and all of us involved in the matter, and hopefully we just don't get railroaded. That was terrible. Please do not laugh at that. Scroll up a little bit if you would, bub. No, actually, that's perfect. Pay me no mind. I had the dementia's kicking in severely today. The Golden Globes are coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and Netflix is leading the pack with 22 nominations for motion pictures. And for TV, the show Monk garnered the most nominations with the number of 6. Never heard of these shows. The Crown also matched it on the TV side with 6 nominations of its own. I heard it was good. I heard Queen Elizabeth doesn't like it, but what TV show hasn't she liked? I'm not surprised. It will be hosted on the 28th, 2 months later than usual, of course, due to COVID, if you will. Tina Fey will be hosting it from the Rainbow Room at the Mount Olympus of television broadcasting, 30 Rockefeller Plaza of NBC Universal. And Amy Poehler will be hosting it from the Beverly Hilton Hotel in LA. Awesome, it's like a weekend update on Saturday Night Live reunion all over again. Here's some great news in entertainment and music. Taylor Swift announced that she will not be able to reschedule her Loverfest postponed concerts and will be offering refunds. I don't know, guys. It sounds like she ran out of ex-boyfriends for song inspiration and looking a little rough. But maybe this is penance for that sacrilege of a song, September by Earth, Wind & Fire. They're pissed. They're absolutely pissed. I'm pissed. I'm people. The United States Postal Service has unveiled the winner of the contract to replace those archaic LOVs. Oshkosh Defense of Wisconsin, this doesn't sound funny at all, won the contract for the replacement for the 30-year-old vehicles, I should say. However, it's been said that 1 in 10 of those new production vehicles will be electric. This sparks some setbacks from President Biden's mandate that all replacement vehicles for the federal government fleet will be electric. So this will be an electrifying experience for some of you. Also, it's starting to warm up outside, which means snow is going back to the depths of hell where they belong. Also, this is cicada season, guys, our favorite insects in the world. After 17 years of peace and quiet, they will be re-emerging to disturb all of the peace for about 2 solid months. If you plan on going to the Cincinnati Zoo and you have insect fears, now will not be the time to go. They're like the heathens of the underworld with wings, and they make a terrible noise, and I hate them. That is all. Got a great show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I got a new top 8 list coming at you. We also got professional photographer. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's probably one of my favorite people I've had on the season so far. Whitney Brewer will be on the show. And we also got the very talented John Baldwin. You know the guy. He's head of Jammer the band. They'll be back next month, by the way. And we have the amazing Diana Outten, who eats, breathes, and sleeps science, who was also my science teacher, along with Salad in the control room. So you already know what's happening. So y'all just sit back, sit tight, reemerge after the commercial break.
It costs so little to teach a child to love, and so much to teach him to hate. These simple but profound words from our founder are at the core of each parenting strategy you'll find at boystown.org/parenting.
Teach me respect.
Teach me patience.
Teach me love.
Visit boystown.org/magnet to receive a Teach Love magnet as a reminder that the change we want to see in our world begins at home, and Boys Town is there to help along the way.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I missed you all. So let's go ahead and let's look at what we got here on the cards of business. I told you we're low budget because we use index cards here. The band Freight with familiar member Adam Knox, our sousaphone player for Jammer the Band. He dropped a new album on the 26th titled Neurocracy. I've listened to a couple tracks of it. I actually like it. It's a very good album. I highly suggest you check it out. Our friends over at the Social Q recently dropped an album titled ISM, which got me confused with the ISM engine from Cummins. Don't judge me. I also listened to that as well. It's a very great album. They produce very high quality content. As you know, we had the Social Q on the night run last season. They were an absolute blast. I became very good friends with the bass player, Justin Good. He's an absolute gentleman. Love that guy to death. If you're watching, Justin, you're awesome. I miss you dearly. Please come back on the show. Also, I want to turn to a serious note before we get too far into it. Anthony Head Sr., as you know, is the brainchild behind the Chicken Head restaurants in the Northwest Plaza on the west side of town. And someone, I don't know why, decided that it was okay to desecrate, if you will, their place of business. And as Anthony Head Sr., he's trying to recover and get back on his feet and take care of business and bring to Dayton a quality chicken franchise. And he's probably one of the hardest working men I've ever met since I've started this show. He's an absolute gentleman. He loves what he does, and he's all about chicken. He's all about flavor. That's his business. He minds his black-owned business, for those who don't know. So we'll have his GoFundMe link in our description on the video on YouTube. You can check it out. Keep your heads peeled for Facebook, stuff like that. But again, Anthony Head Sr., great guy, phenomenal man. I enjoyed meeting him. He has a fantastic business going on, and he's very passionate about. So if you can, just reach out and help out whatever way you can. So on that note, let's go ahead and get to the top 8 list. Today's top 8 list is brought to you by Billboard.com. And it is the top 8 fuck bands of all time because it is Black History Month and we're winding things down here. So let's go ahead and get started with number 8 would be the Gap Band. Famous leader of that band was Charlie Wilson. Number 7, the Ohio Players, huge favorite of mine. Actually, everyone on this list is my favorite. Number 6 would be the Bar-Kays. Number 5 would be Kool and the Gang. I'm trying to tell you, I don't know nothing about that. Number 4 would be Sly and the Family Stone. Number 3 would be the Isley Brothers. Number 2 would be Earth, Wind, and Fire. And number 1 would be Parliament, the kings of the psychedelic funk movement. Parliament is where it's at. I actually, a couple years ago, went to the Smithsonian Institute where they actually have the mothership of the storied Mothership Connection that you hear about in so many of their songs. They actually had that from their concerts, and it's actually in the American Museum of Pop Culture History, something like that. It's there. Check it out. And now I just got a few little-known African-American figures to, of course, celebrate Black History Month. You might you might recognize a couple of these names on here. Let's start with Carl B. Stokes. He was the first African-American mayor of a major city, which would be Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland rocks. Number 2 is a well-known Daytonian, Idotha Bootsy Neal. She recently passed away. Our regards from the night run to her family and close friends. She was the first black woman elected to City Commission and served on the City Commission from 1991 to 2004. She is also the brainchild behind revitalizing the Wright Dunbar district off of West 3rd Street. Roger Troutman, my God, I swear to God, I went to school with his granddaughter, and I just can't remember her name, and it's been driving me crazy. But Roger Troutman is the co-founder and the brainchild behind Zapp and Roger. Of course, you know Computer Love, I Want to Be Your Man, songs of that nature. That sound, that is the brainchild of Roger Troutman. His sound labs are actually, I think they were designated a National Historical Place. And it's a row of shops. It used to be a pizzeria, there's a barber shop, and then that entire building used to be a sound labs. And it's right at the corner of Salem and Catalpa, if you ever want to go check it out. And they have a nice little mural of Zapp and the band logo on the side of the building, so check that out. Number 4 would be Shirley Swopes. I probably pronounced that wrong, but I'm not going back. I have no regrets. It was the first WNBA player and the first black WNBA player. Number 5 surprised me because I did not know this man was still with us, and now I want him on the show terribly. Mr. Edmund C. Moses has a boulevard named after him. He is an Olympian in track and field, and he was an advocate for drug testing and keeping drugs out of sports. I believe he was also involved in local politics. Please fact check me in the comments section if I'm wrong. But this man has done quite a bit for the birthplace of aviation. I said what I said, Kitty Hawk. I would love to have him on the show. So if you're watching the show and you know the man, you know, tell him to just emerge. I'd love to have him on the show. He is basically Dayton royalty. Frederick Fritz Pollard, the first black player and the first black player coach in the NBA. I mean, not the NBA, the NFL. I'm terrible at this. This is sad. Ethel Waters, she's the first African-American to star in her own show called The Ethel Waters Show on NBC in 1939. And our last one will be Gwendolyn Brooks, the first black author to win the Pulitzer Prize. I knew a few of these, but I didn't know a couple of them. I didn't know Carl B. Stokes was the first African-American mayor of a major city. That's awesome. I would have thought someone from Baltimore would have got that. But that is all I got in regards to the top 8 from Billboard.com, of course. And I just randomly searched. I did my research for the famous little-known African-American figures here locally and nationally. Another thing I want to talk about is motorcycle safety. As we start to thaw out from this and we start to cut our yards again and make our yards look pretty, this is something personal for me since my father is an avid motorcycle rider. Do not blow your grass clippings into the street. That is every biker's worst nightmare. Have a heart. Those bikers belong to somebody. They're either somebody's father, somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's best friend. Too many people are being lost to that over simple negligence and laziness, and let's just cut the risk out of the equation altogether. So, also, as kids go back to school, of course, stop for the school buses, but things are slowly getting back to normal here in the Gem City, the Buckeye State, and here in this great country we call America. So that's all I got. When we come back, Whitney Brewer is right here. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back after the commercial break.
Boom.
Welcome back to the Night Run, ladies and gentlemen. Here at my desk, I have the very beautiful Whitney Brewer. She is a fantastic photographer that Salad actually found on Instagram because technology always works. Welcome to the show. We're very glad to have you here, and that's a lovely shade of red.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Canton, Ohio. I grew up there, and I went to Ohio State after high school. And after that, I moved to South Carolina, and then I moved back to Columbus, and now I'm here.
How the hell you go from South Carolina? Jesus Christ. Oh, so.
I get around.
Yeah. Regrets were had.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No
All right,
regrets.
no regrets.
Just bouncing around.
Just bouncing around. So I take it you like to travel.
I do.
You do like to travel. Have you been to all 50 states yet?
I've been to 49.
49. The ones in the middle, I really don't pay too much attention. There's nothing out there but like 3 bison, a cornfield, and a mountain. I mean, they're all the same.
Yes, I had a very good friend of mine tell me not to drive through Kansas because it was boring, and I tested it, and I was like, I'm going to do it anyways. And I went through it, and it was awful, so he was right. But I wanted to hit it and make it, check it off my bucket list. So I have one more state to hit, and it's Texas.
Texas? Oh, so you've been to Alaska.
Alaska and Hawaii in 2018 and 2019.
Nice.
Right before the pandemic.
I'm so over it. For the simple fact, I haven't been on a cruise in 2 years. I'm pissed.
Yeah, I can't blame you there.
Look, sis, I'm over it. I'm
Yeah.
tired of it.
Yeah.
It's very ghetto here. So I went on vacation to LA in January. Whole different world out there.
Oh yeah. What
They
was your
wake up.
experience?
They wake up and choose violence in Los Angeles. Like they run the red lights. Like there's no brakes touched, no nothing. Like, all right, it is not safe to be a pedestrian out here.
Dang. Okay, note to self, don't go to LA.
I mean, it's great. I mean, if you drive a car, I mean, that's just anxiety points. But other than that,
I understand that. I've done
see,
that.
this is why I take Metro.
Yeah, for sure.
San Pedro was lovely, by the way. Highly recommend it if you haven't been there.
No, I
yet.
haven't.
Rancho Palos Verdes, highly recommend that too. It's very quiet. It's very
like
quiet. The neighborhood is a very upscale. The houses are nice. It called me broke. I don't like that. Yeah, I'm like, bro, you're not even supposed to be here. I'm like, I know, I'm just on vacation. Mind your business.
Please don't call me bro also.
I'm like, first, I'm brokey.
And don't call me that.
I am financially challenged, if you will. So what got you into photography?
Great question. It's a lot of things, really. I was pre-med in college, so I was going to Ohio State, and I was exploring all of the, prerequisites of pre-med, which were, calculus and math and physics and science and things that really stressed me out. And so I balanced it with a couple photography classes, a couple art classes, so that my load wasn't so heavy. And my first photography class I fell in love with. I fell in love with the person who was teaching it. I fell in love with the process. It was black and white film. So I started off my photography journey literally learning how to expose the perfect picture and then develop it myself and then print it myself. So I did everything from A to Z, and I fell in love with that process. There was math included in it, there was science included in it, there was physics included in it. It was just my way of diving into something that actually I was passionate about. And I also realized that within that, my professor was able to be a professor and be a musician and be a photographer, so he had options. It wasn't like he was just stuck doing one thing, and I think that that intimidated me as a college student leaving school and, being stuck, working for JCPenney or working for another photographer or whatever that looks like. I just really admired that he was able to do a lot of things and be free and travel and all the things. So that's where it all started. And after college, I moved. I was in the restaurant industry. I thought that it was going to be something that I was going to do forever. And then someone disrespected me, and I was like, I don't really understand who the hell you're talking to, because it's not me. I had just graduated from a leadership training program, and literally this chef looked at me in front of, I'm not kidding, he looked at me in front of, I hope he watches this. I'm gonna send this to him. He screamed at me in front of a whole dining room full of people. And he's like, Brewer, you have f***ing desserts to run. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't know who you're talking to, but today's my last day. And he was like, you're not even gonna give me 2 weeks? And I was like, why would I give you 2 weeks when all you've done is treat me like shit? So I'm gonna go be my own boss and love myself and treat myself right. And so that's where Whitney Brewer Photography was born. Yeah.
That is probably the most badass
Take no
story. That is probably the greatest story I've ever heard.
Really?
That is the greatest story I've ever heard since I've got behind this desk.
Yes.
All right, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about the business. What all do you do photography, like any and everything, or?
Great question as well. No, I don't do everything. I've learned in the process of owning my own business that I can pick and choose who I work with, and when the energy's not right, like you and I sat here for 10 minutes before we started recording, and like I knew that moment that the energy was right, and that I felt good working with you, and that I feel good sitting in this chair next to you talking. And I've realized that owning my own business, I really get to feel that energy with everyone that I work with, and when the energy is not there, I don't work with them. So basically, like I do everything. I'm open to, doing newborn photos and family photos and wedding photos and boudoir and body positive photos. But if the energy is not right, I'm not going to work with you.
Eliminate the problem out of the equation. No toxicity 2021.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also that also is a part of like self-worth. And
You're not a yes woman, and I commend you for that. You
Thank
stand
you.
up for what you believe in.
Yeah.
You don't sell yourself out, and that's the name of the game.
that is exactly
That
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
name of the game.
Yep. Yeah. So it's trusting myself that I'm worthy of the money that I'm asking for and the education that I've, what is the word, invested in for myself, and the emotional intelligence work that I've done. Everything that I've done is an investment in myself. And when people think that I'm a joke, I just love you where you are, and I don't want to work with you. So that's a lot of how I function in my business, is really trusting how something feels. And if it feels yucky, to just not go for it. Actually, I have a funny story. I had a client who went back and forth with me for probably 2 weeks for an $800 job. And finally I pitched to her, I was like, okay, well, I know that I know that I'm unable to give you what you need for this amount of money. Long story short, I tried creating a win-win with her, and she wasn't having it. And the next day, because I declined her job, I booked a $6,000 gig. So I went from something that I didn't feel good about in that $800 realm, and it felt yucky going back and forth. And then the next day, someone was like, hey, I have this job for you. I bid them $6,000, and they were like, I'll take it. I ain't messing around.
There you go. You can't be soft in these streets. You cannot.
No, you can't. I'm just taking myself seriously. I think that's what happened, is that I started taking myself seriously.
I feel like this has been a journey of self-discovery for you.
Huge.
Huge. It's something you're passionate about. I feel like it's melded you into the person that you are today. I can somewhat relate, and I've been here for about 8 months now.
Yes.
I got this out of me when I started this show. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I bet.
That first taping day was wow.
You live, you learn.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You live, you learn.
Yes. But I honestly enjoy looking at all of your work. I love it.
Thanks.
I mean, at least I know if I decide to throw something at you, I will get flattering shots because I am a handsome man. My mom is never wrong. But
She's not. She's not wrong.
she's not wrong at all. Thank you, dear. But what was your favorite job? Because I know you've been everywhere.
Yes. Ooh, that has never been asked. I don't.
The night run, we come for you in the spot that no one has
Right.
ever emerged at before.
No, not at all. My favorite job. I think it's a combination of things, but I think my favorite job is when I can see a client light up when they receive their images and see something that they hadn't seen about themselves before and fall in love with themselves right in front of me. That's my favorite.
I think out of all the work I've seen of yours thus far, I think my favorite is probably the woman body positivity. I love that. It's very empowering to see someone out there that gives women a stage to feel confident in themselves.
Yes.
And make them realize the worthy beings that they are.
We all are, all of us humans. And I'd love to touch base on that because I don't work with just women. A lot of men that I work with aren't comfortable with me sharing their images on social media, so I don't showcase a lot of the men that I work with. But I have indeed worked with body positive photography with men, and it's also transformational too. So yeah, I'd say that my passion lies within that niche, is inspiring human beings to love themselves through my gifts of photography.
You are a very enlightening person that the world needs.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, we need it.
I'm like, I should write a book. I feel
You
like I
should write a book. I'm promise you to make it on New York Times bestseller list. Oprah might show it in a book club. You don't know.
Get out of here. You're flattering me. I'm blushing.
So any special projects, anything in the works?
Lots of stuff, actually.
Tell me
yes.
about it.
So in May, I'm teaming up with a woman. Her name is Julie Goldberg. She's based out of Philadelphia. But she is a relationships and intimacy coach. And her and I are pairing up to do a self-love workshop. It's going to be probably around a 6 to 8 week program where we meet with individuals for those 6-8 weeks. And we'll be working on like body positive coaching, self-love coaching, etc., giving these amazing humans tools to use to step into self-love and body positivity. And then also within that workshop, I will be doing actual photography packages. So not only will the coaching aspect be there from her and I both, but the photography aspect will be there too. So I'm really excited to launch that. That's going to be in May. I have a self-love workshop coming up on March 2nd with Julie as well, so that's going to be super fun. And I sold 32 gift cards over Christmas that are basically all over the country. So I'm going to be traveling a lot this year.
You go ahead, girl.
Go ahead. Traveling's my favorite thing on the planet, and when I can combine the travel and the photography all in one to make it like a win-win is what I like to call it, that's the best. So I think that's on the horizon. That's all that's on the horizon for now. But I'm a very busybody, and I'm sure there will be something in 3 months. So
you eat, sleep, and breathe hustle. That's what we
do.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Yep.
Are you a flyer or are you a driver?
Both.
Both. I like to drive, but I do it for a living, so I kind of hate it now.
Oh.
I mean, I don't hate it. I'm just over it. It's very ghetto.
Tell me, what does that mean to you?
Ghetto. It's beneath me. It's
Okay,
very.
okay.
What's the word I want to use? Underclass,
Got
if
it.
you will.
Okay.
I love to fly. I always fly United, the friendly skies. Well, I've not been dragged yet.
Oh my God.
I love
Fly
airplanes,
United.
so it's great. I fly through here all the time because Chicago's a lovely city. The only thing I don't like about flying is the TSA.
Yeah. I have a friend who works for them.
They're the worst, and I don't know who hurt them as a child.
They're like they're angry.
I'm like, first of all, sis, it's 4:45 in the morning. I'm just trying to get on my plane. Look, no, just no. You chose this. I won't fly American. American's beneath me. Spirit, you'll become one flying with them.
Spirit is the worst.
Like, Spirit is to the point to where, I don't know if you ever use public transit, but the poles that you hold on to, that's what they have in the back of the plane. That's why their fares are so cheap.
Oh. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on a Spirit
Oh,
aircraft.
no, I don't want to become one, so I stay away
I
from
have a
them.
very good friend of mine, though, that works for NetJets, and he says that all of the airplanes, no matter what company, are all checked the same way. So he's like, they're all reputable companies, and they're all just as good as anyone else. But our experience tells us different, so that's...
Exactly. Like, United is good to me. I like United.
I usually fly Southwest. I've not had any problems
I'd
with
love
Southwest.
to if they were back at Dayton International. I would, trust me, I would, because I
Yeah,
know
I'm
they're
used to
cheaper.
flying out of Columbus.
Because I always fly out of Dayton because I just don't want it. It's right there. I don't want to
I
drive.
can't blame you.
So I just deal with the puddle jumper to get to O'Hare, and then I get me a big plane.
Yep.
So
Cool. There you go.
I was just over it. I did when I went to Los Angeles. That was my first long haul, well, transcon flight, and that was interesting. That was a huge plane. Never seen anything like it. And I get on it, and there's lots of people, and I'm used to it.
Yeah.
It's till the baby and the dog and the emotional support animals got on the plane. And then I didn't realize the dog was there because, of course, I'm stupid. I'm not paying attention. So we're right over, like, LAX are starting to come in. I hear something bark. What the hell is that?
It was a dog on the plane.
A whole German Shepherd.
That would be my dog.
2 rows behind, and he was just going off. I'm like, I need to go now.
Yeah.
I love dogs. I do. I don't love
But
them.
not dogs on a plane.
Not when I'm 30,000 feet in the air. I'm not about to listen to that the entire way to LA.
Oh, no. I can't
just
imagine
not.
that would be fun. No.
Not at all.
I totally understand. But yeah, I definitely do both. I think my longest flight was to Hawaii, and that was terrifying because the whole way
There's no.
whole way home was turbulence. Listen, we're flying over the ocean, and my friend's sitting next to me, and he just snoozing,
And you're
I'm
just
like,
going through it.
I'm gonna die right now. Everyone's sleeping, and I'm just sitting there like,
I was
okay,
just
I'm
out-
just gonna die. It's fine.
I was just out the window the entire time, like, why is the land so dry? What? Where is the buildings at? Is that a town or is that a farm? You know what? I'm just gonna close my window shade and read a book. That's what I'm gonna do.
Because you'll freak yourself out.
It has been an absolute joy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
It was my pleasure. At least I know when I want professional photography done, I know exactly who to go to and I'll get flattering shots.
The energy's good, so I'm happy to work with you.
I'm very easy to get along with. Very, very easy.
Most of
to
the
get
time.
Believe it or not, believe it or not, I'm probably the most laid-back talk show host out there.
I really like it. I've enjoyed today. Thank you so much.
I'm not a diva behind the scenes, honestly. Like, I'm not even up yet.
I love that.
Whitney Brewer, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we got a lot more show for you. Go get you something to eat. Please come back. We need you. We'll be right back.
It costs so little to teach a child to love, and so much to teach him to hate. These simple but profound words from our founder are at the core of each parenting strategy you'll find at boystown.org/parenting.
Teach me respect.
Teach me patience.
Teach me love.
Visit boystown.org/magnet to receive a Teach Love Magnet as a reminder that the change we want to see in our world begins at home, and Boys Town is there to help along the way.
Welcome back to the Night Run, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the desk, I have a very special person that's been in my life since freshman year, Diana Outten. We're very glad to have you here.
Hi.
I'm kind of sad you didn't bring any dangerous chemicals to play with, but that's fine.
Well, something about you're not allowed to just bring dangerous chemicals wherever you go. I don't know.
So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am a high school science teacher. I had Dion in class 2 years. I love forensics. I find it very interesting. So I teach a forensics class. I teach chemistry. I hated chemistry in high school, so I try to make it something fun for the kids. And I also teach a healthcare course, which is like a apprenticeship or get you started on your path to becoming a nurse in some capacity. And that's been really cool because I teach it with Nurse Shane. And so the school nurse and myself tag team and talk about all the cool things you never knew you wanted to know about. So.
Yeah, that's cool. We did not have that in high school. These new kids. So you started your career at Thurgood Marshall, I take it.
I actually started in Louisville, Kentucky.
Is that where you're from?
No, I am from Dayton. I grew up in Tip City. I was down in Louisville because they offered me a job at a college, and I was like, yeah, of course I want a job. And so we moved down there. I was down there for 2 years. I was on the west side of Louisville, which is considered like a little bit more tough than the east side of Louisville. And I was at a science magnet high school, and I taught biology, chemistry, and forensics there. That was where I first came up with the idea for having a forensics course and what it would look like. And I taught there for 2 years, and then I was at Northridge for 1 when I got back into the state of Ohio, because the state of Ohio is really picky, and they don't like teachers from other states, so I had to do some work around there. I had freshmen my first year at Northridge, and then I went to Thurgood for 3 years. So I was at Thurgood Marshall for 3 years, helped them get their STEM accreditation for becoming an official STEM school, and then Mrs. Rutan actually called me back and was like, hey, there's a job opening back here. And I was like, sign me up, friend, let's go. So I went back. I was back to being a polar bear and been there since 2014. Loving it.
I love your guys' relationship. It's fun. I miss her, by the way. Please pass that on.
I will.
What is your favorite thing to do in the classroom? Because my favorite thing when I had you twice would be the dangerous chemicals, obviously.
I really like fire.
Me too.
Fire is very interesting. Next week we're doing like a forensics accelerants lab where we're talking about arson investigation. It's basically an excuse for me to try out different chemicals and burn them in my classroom.
And it's board approved.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's nothing like playing with fire.
Well, and I got a fireproof table. Why would I not test that out, Dion?
Hey, America wants to know.
Exactly.
And you're here to get answers.
What is the better accelerant for setting a house fire? We have to know these things so we can know when other people do them.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. I love setting stuff on fire. Another thing that was my favorite would be the dissections. I was not scared to cut up dead animals.
Oh,
It was very fun to look
Did you dissect anything for me, or did you just do it for Mrs. Rutan?
I think I may have dissected something for you, but most of my dissection was with her.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to cut up the pig. I'm like, just cut the damn pig.
Just cut the pig up. It's
Just
fine.
cut it's fine. He
It's
did.
dead. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. But I found that very interesting. Of course, the dangerous chemical part, I like to see hydrochloric acid, eat away a rock. I found that very fascinating.
Yes. Acids are very cool. And they're everyone's fascinated with acids. I mean, that's why they're in comic books and stuff.
But it's different when you get to see it do the thing
Yourself.
right in front of you.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Shared experiences are the best way to learn.
It really is. So what's your favorite subject to touch on in regards to science? Because you eat, breathe, and sleep science, obviously.
I do. I love science.
You do love the science.
Probably at this point, forensics, just because I love me a good psychopath.
Who's your favorite psychopath?
If I had to really pick, it's probably Albert Fish, the super messed up dude from New York, who was a child killer.
Did we cover that in class?
No.
We didn't? Okay, good. So then I can't say what.
You didn't miss anything. My second favorite, though, is still H.H. Holmes. Dallas is absolutely correct. H.H. Holmes is the OG of serial killing.
That man was insane.
I know.
And he was so smart.
I know. And like to think of how to, I mean, he was such a con man to be able to create an entire castle of torture and torment and ways to kill other people. Like
That takes drive.
and some ingenuity, really.
I think he deserves a national award for that.
Well, he did. He got himself hung. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was the ultimate prize, I guess.
I guess so.
And we're still talking about him, what,
is true.
100 and some years later?
Yes.
So,
Didn't his castle burn down?
yeah, somebody burnt it down. You know, they don't know who did it. Were they really doing that good of an investigation? Probably not. They were like, good riddance to this
Good riddance.
place.
I feel like they should have torn it apart just to see exactly what was all there.
Oh, that'd have been cool.
That would have been very interesting.
Because he had, yeah, like secret passageways maybe. I mean, there was body dump slots down in some of the rooms so that the body would go straight down to the basement. Like a laundry chute, but for dead bodies.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane. So you've been in the business for, I believe, 14 years?
13, but yeah.
Okay, so 13 years. How's the journey so far? Is it what you expected when you started?
I've always really liked teenagers. I know, that makes me psychotic myself. But yeah, I wanted to go into teaching at urban districts. I actually took specialized courses for teaching urban students and urban student populations. And I think I do a pretty good job of communicating with teenagers. I mean, it's easier when you're younger, so like it's become a little bit more challenging because everyone's like, I saw this TikTok challenge where it says you owe me 5 extra credit points. And I'm like, you had a Tic Tac challenge? What's a Tic Tac challenge? You just see how many you can fit in your mouth? But, you know, like if you still really care about other people, I think it's what you expect. Now, COVID is something totally different. Like this is a beast. It's been hard for everybody. The students, regular old people, the teachers, the admins, parents, everybody. I mean, just yesterday, my daughter was supposed to have a virtual learning day because they used all their snow days. And she sat there in the meeting room just talking to her friends for a half an hour before she realized the teacher wasn't coming. And she's like, everybody else left. I was like, yeah, because they sent another link because that one was not working. Oh, well, I just turned the computer off.
She's the best.
She's funny.
She is funny. She's definitely you.
Thank you.
She's definitely
I'll
you.
take that as a compliment. She is very good at rolling her eyes and giving the sass as well.
You knew it was coming.
I did. It's going to be real bad when she's like 12 or 13.
You have your work cut out.
Thank you.
I take it Dino keeps you in the loop and running you ragged.
Dean is 3 now, and he's just finally like getting tired of his sister and like her shenanigans. He's like
just so
had
over
enough.
it.
So it was like 2 weeks ago, he comes out of the playroom and he like slams the door and he's like, I'm not playing with her anymore. I said, what happened? She's too bossy. I'm moving out. And he made himself a little house behind the recliner. And she wasn't allowed in there because she was too bossy.
He's fed up.
He's had enough.
He's had enough.
Of ladies trying to boss him around.
Who do they think they are?
Who do they think they are?
I don't know. He's so old, but you have a beautiful family.
Why, thank you.
You have a very beautiful family. We miss you
Aw, I
and
miss
the rest
and
of you
Daddy.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
Good God. It's rough out here.
You're like, it really is. You don't know how good you have it when you're like 16, 17.
Not at all. And then after I graduated, life just picked up speed at about 90 miles an hour off the top ropes. And
And they just pushed you
it's
right
just-
into the street.
I'm 6.5 years away from 30. Like yesterday, I was just in sophomore year. Why?
Yeah, time just goes faster and faster the older you get.
I only had to worry about electives and stuff about 4 or 5 years ago, and now I'm paying into a 401k, and I'm talking about retirement.
Dude,
This sucks.
you did get old.
Yeah, I'm 23. I'll be 24 in November.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yes. When I turn 27, I'm gonna cry.
Are we supposed to have 401ks at this point in our life, Dion?
I think I'm ahead of the game because
I think so too.
I just got one. I've been at my employer for almost 4 years, and I just now got it like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So I'm still relatively young, so I got it at a good time. So I
You
will
did,
I
you
will
did.
retire. If I do what I'm supposed to do, I'll be retiring at 49 or anywhere between 49 and 51.
Wow, that's not bad.
But I have to slave away in order to do it.
Yeah, you do. You do. You know, I don't have a 401k. I've put my misguided trust in the state teacher retirement system. So we'll see how that pans out.
We'll see how DeWine feels about it.
How does the legislature feel today?
Let's see how they feel today. Like, oh, do I teach until I die? All right, that's fine. It's whatever. I'm tired of worrying about healthcare. I have to do that now.
Yeah.
Open enrollment sucks.
Well, and like
I still don't know how to schedule my own doctor's appointments. Like, I asked my mom.
Hybrid healthcare system we have, it's a joke, man. The rich people have all the insurance and everybody else is just trying to figure it out.
I mean, but when I go to the emergency room and I have to pay a copay, I'm like, me pay you just to tell me I'm not okay? I know I'm not okay. That's why I'm here.
How about you assist me and I will pay you for that assistance?
Pretty much. Like, do you have high blood? I might. Messing around with this survey, I just might. So what's your favorite memory from your career so far? Because I know you have a soft spot for the class of 14.
I do.
And you have a soft spot for us, which was the class of 17.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna get kind of down and sad for a moment. But I had Breonna Taylor in class when I taught down in Louisville. She was one of my biology students. And she was just this like bright and bubbly and hilarious person. So like just that memory I have of her and her spirit, I like that one a lot. And let's see, the class of 14 when they were freshmen were just freaking hysterical. They were so funny. Like they were that mix of just still like middle schoolers and they were all really like good friends with each other. They were pretty funny. 16, they were serious, but they were like serious learners, you know? And then class of 17, I think I'm probably never gonna forget when Seth Deaton was trying to kill a bee in my classroom. Were you in there when this happened?
I heard about it.
Okay, and he jumps up and he hits the speaker in the old high school building, and the whole thing falls to the ground, and he goes, "But I got it." And I was like, yeah, you got it. But then I didn't have to hear the announcements for like 2 months, so that was pretty great. It was like a side bonus.
That was awesome. That was hilarious, honestly.
Yeah.
I missed that building.
And then class of 16 turned the ceiling in that room purple with some iodine smoke from one of their experiments. And I pretended I didn't know what happened when they came in and asked me.
And you were here for it.
I was absolutely there.
Like, it was all in the name of science.
Exactly. We were learning, people. That's what learning looks like.
I miss that old building. I can imagine the new building doesn't feel the same at all.
No, but it's kind of nice to have air conditioning because, Dion, I was dying.
Look, it's rough on that third floor once the sun comes up.
Oh, my God, I was dying.
And then when you were pregnant with Dean, that was just the absolute, where you were so miserable.
Oh, my gosh.
I felt so sorry for you.
Well, the thermometer was like, it's 99 degrees in here today. And I'm, 6, 7, 8 months pregnant, like, yep, it's 99 degrees in here today.
You were just absolutely over it. I felt so bad.
Gosh. Yes, I was.
But it wasn't for the weak.
No.
It wasn't for the weak.
I mean, it just makes us tough, Dion.
It really does.
Yeah, someday we're gonna be like, back in my day, there was no air conditioning in school.
It was a solid about 7 rooms in that building that had air conditioning. Everyone else just had to die.
Yep.
Everyone else just had to die.
Be reborn the next class period when you got to go hang out in like Mrs. Forr's air-conditioned room.
That was a nice room. It got freezing in there.
Which was the best part.
And then comes wintertime when you're in there dying because the heat's on 90 and she can't do anything about it because it's steam heat. I'm like, Miss Forr, I'm going to die. And then you move me up front and I'm right by the heater. And you just don't care about my life anymore. And I don't like that because I love you and I want you to love me enough to feel where I'm coming from with this. Oh, it was rough. I miss it.
It's funny what you miss though, isn't it?
It really is.
Because you're like, this is stupid. I'm never gonna, use this but then those turn into the memories that like, they really stick with you and they're important to you.
And everyone like, well, I have this teacher and this teacher. Well, when I had them, they weren't like this. So obviously you did something.
You broke them.
You did something because they was cool for us. Y'all just doing the most.
Excuse me.
But I miss it. I don't miss the politics of it. I really don't because
But you can't go anywhere
Yeah.
where there's not politics or
I found
bureaucracy or red
Felt
tape.
that out the hard way.
Yeah.
But I do miss it. Will I go back? No. but I would trade a day for a day. But then again, these days it wouldn't be the same the way I remember it, so
No,
it's
it
best to
really
just leave it
wouldn't.
alone.
Yep, because there's the same people wouldn't be there. It's not the same place.
Not at all.
The atmosphere is not quite the same. And of course, you know, you've grown up and you've changed, and so
I've evolved.
yeah,
Evolution.
you're pretty much as cool as you're ever gonna be, or as you ever think you are when you're 17. Like that's maximum capacity.
I think that was peak me, and now I'm just starting to wind down slowly towards retirement.
Now you understand like how the world actually works, and you're like,
It's wild.
I guess it's okay.
I mean, it has its moments. This has just been an insane year.
Oh, you're telling me. We go back to some kids in person on Monday, and I was getting my room all ready, but like I couldn't put everything out I wanted to put out, and I'm like, how am I gonna do labs? And I have all these plastic shield thingies that like keep leaving plastic shavings all over the tables. I'm like, no, we're gonna work around this. We are still gonna light some things on fire.
Yes.
Just for old time's sake, and it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. So where exactly is your room now? So that's a huge building.
I face the south, so you know when you see the big red N right across from the
Board office?
board office. So the big red N is here, and that behind that N is like guidance and all the counselors and stuff. And then to the left are the 3 science rooms. So we're like in a hallway all by ourselves. So it's like 9th grade science, myself in the middle, and then Mrs. Rutan's in the last room. So our windows face south, and then we have lots and lots of windows out into the hallway, which I thought would be a way more bigger distraction than it actually just turned out to be. It's okay.
Kids are evolving.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. Besides, you know, I'm just happy when they're not looking at their phone.
That is a struggle. Now that TikTok's a thing, that wasn't a thing when we were in high school. We were still petitioning to get Vine back. TikTok is not what we asked for.
This is not what we wanted.
Not what we wanted at all. They don't listen to the people. So who has 9th grade science now?
Her name is Mrs. Kleinhens. She just had a baby. She came from Westfall, which is, I guess, like southeastern Ohio.
Then that means Ty Long got promoted, didn't he?
He does the manufacturing class.
Oh, good
So
for him.
he has, I think it's 2 or 3 classes of the manufacturing course, and they've actually gotten people jobs, like straight out of high school into some of the manufacturing plants, and gotten some people apprenticeships and stuff.
It's good to see that home has evolved and it's giving the next generation of kids what we didn't have.
Yeah, because there was not that many options for you.
Not at all.
No. Well, it's really hard to provide a lot of electives and different options without paying a price for it.
Yeah,
So I'm sure it's a difficult balance.
that it is.
But, I mean, the state of Ohio is doing these pathways. So there's the healthcare pathway, which the nurse and I teach, and then there's the manufacturing pathway, which Mr. Long and a guy named Dave Cash teach. And so they teach you all about like safety in a factory or
What
a
is
work
safety?
environment.
OSHA's for the weak.
Oh, but I like safety.
I mean, I like safety too, but there's nothing wrong with being a little dangerous.
You
Long
gotta
as
learn-
nobody dies.
You got to learn how to not burn your eyebrows off, though,
I've never done that. I've always
because
been
then you
very
would look
safe.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's we're looking at other options, you know, but CTC's there, so they've already got like some of the certifications and stuff that we don't necessarily want to try and pay for and do in our building, but it's more options than there were for yourself.
It was. Hopefully they use them.
I hope so too.
I don't like the big iceberg out front. I just don't know how I feel about that.
It's
different.
It's weird. Like I feel like there's a door on the side.
Me too.
There is a door on the side, but like what's in there?
America wants to know.
I want to know what's in there. Because if I would have to be like, okay, this is where all the party stuff goes. Like we got confetti cannons in here, we got balloons and
You just
helium
have
at the ready.
One hell of a good time.
Yeah, like that's what I want to be in there. But I feel like it's probably something,
Either nothing or something morbid.
yeah, probably nothing. Probably nothing.
As much as we want it to be something morbid so we can poke it with the stick, but
Absolutely.
that's
Like-
part of science. That's the best part of science.
Well, you know, all forensics teachers know where to place a good body, so I'm just saying, if I ever go missing, you might want to check there.
Yes. It has been a blast having you on here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It was my pleasure. We love you dearly, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you. This is pretty cool that you're like a big, real person.
Yeah, I guess I'm a moderately big person. I get recognized at gas stations from time to time. It's
Really?
cool. I do.
That's awesome.
That's strange. It's very strange. I don't know how to feel about it.
Now I wish I would have kept some of those not so great grades, but like with your signature on them.
I'll sign things. I'll sign things. Diana Outten, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, I don't even know what camera I'm looking at. Dallas, light one up so I know where I'm looking at. That would be fantastic. Thank you, sir. You're the best. We'll be back after the commercial break.
It costs so little to teach a child to love, and so much to teach him to hate. These simple but profound words from our founder are at the core of each parenting strategy you'll find at boystown.org/parenting.
Teach me respect.
Teach me patience.
Teach me love.
Visit boystown.org/magnet to receive a Teach Love magnet as a reminder that the change we want to see in our world begins at home. And Boys Town is there to help along the way.
Welcome back to the Night Run, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the desk is the man behind the wonderful music that you heard when we began the show last year, jamming the band, Johnathan Baldwin. Jesus Christ, we missed you. It's been rough. It's been rough. I'm so glad we didn't break up and you're coming back. I can't. That was the roughest 4 months of my life. But we missed you terribly, and in your absence from the show, and the guys, how are the guys?
They're doing all right. Hoyt, our drummer, has started firefighter school. That's super cool.
Very proud of him.
He's doing well, I think. I don't know.
Well, he's still alive, so.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's learning a lot of stuff. Learning a lot of stuff. Everyone's.
You've been out the studio for too long.
Everyone's hanging in there. I started substitute teaching.
How's that going? Or is it everything you thought it would be?
A little less, but yeah.
So you're still substitute teaching in regards to music, or just all subjects?
All subjects. That's what the license lets me do. It's pretty chill. Like, I subbed for an agriculture class yesterday.
No, damn well.
I
know nothing about.
So I'm a city slicker.
Okay.
As those kids would say. I've never seen so many mullets.
Ew.
In one room. Just wow.
Business on the front, party in the back.
Yeah. Business in the front. Yeah, I'm working, Adam's working, Dan's working, going to school still. Yeah, it's been pretty chill. We finished all the tracking for our album. So like, I know we said February for the album, that ain't happening.
Not at all.
It'll happen well into this year, pretty soon. But we've kind of like finished all the heavy lifting for recording and everything, so we're just kind of taking it easy, waiting for it to warm up, do some street shows.
I know you met. Actually, that's actually how we met.
Yeah.
That's actually how we met. And our anniversary comes up in August.
Oh.
1 year.
Cute.
1 year.
Happy 1 year.
Happy 1 year. Oh, the most non-toxic group of guys on television. It's great. Oh, man. So what's been up with you? What's the haps? What's the latest? We've been apart for 4 months, which was absolutely excruciating.
Yeah. Me personally, I've released some music of my own. Graduated college. That was
very
huge.
proud of you.
It didn't feel real until I held the piece of paper in my hand. So like,
I'm like, yes, all this depression and anxiety was worth it.
It felt like a trap. So like, I went. They had a virtual commencement, which was, it was cool. It was nice that they did that for us.
It's not the same, but it'll do.
Yeah, like I don't want to shell out for a cap and gown anyway. Like, you kidding me? Like, no, I got time for that. I've been here too damn long. Like, virtual commencement. They said my name. I'm like, okay, it's probably legit. Like, I applied for graduation, passed all my classes. Like,
I didn't even know you had to apply for graduation. See, that's new to me.
It's not like it's like a last like checklist thing. Like,
so they go through everything, make sure you've got all your courses, all that stuff.
Yeah, like audit your degree track and all that.
Like, imagine have to ask to graduate. Like, I beg your pardon, I've spent $60,000 here, and you're going to tell me I have to ask to graduate?
Like, the parking passes, you got to apply to graduate, you got textbook, like,
Ghetto.
It's not
the move.
Not a good system. It needs overhauled.
So bad.
So, so like went through virtual commencement. I saw my name get called. I'm like, okay, cool. And then like I didn't get my degree, like my physical degree, for like another 2 months, and like I'm just waiting for it in the mail. And I'm like, this whole time I'm like, what if I didn't graduate? Like maybe Wright State Rowdy Raider is pulling a huge prank on me right now. Just the entire.
You were gonna
like,
just
my
got an
entire thought
uppercut. If
process
that
in
was it, you were
January.
gonna fight him.
Yeah, honestly.
J Money off the top ropes.
People's elbow on them. Just
Stop the damn match.
yeah, and then finally got that little piece of paper. They give you like a nice little folio to put it in. Has my name on it. They spelled it right. That's awesome.
Right.
That's like all I ask for whenever I get a document with my name on it.
Just spell it right.
That's it. I think it's kind of long. It's a little difficult. There's a lot of ways to spell it, but
Trust me, I know. There's
They
7
nailed
ways
it.
to spell mine.
it's the worst. But they nailed it. Got my degree. Working, looking for full-time work. It's been chill. The music I put out in January under Future Bard. It's electronic music. I really like it.
I heart react a lot of it when I catch it. I've been slacking lately. I'll get back on that. But
It's cool. It's a wide palette of sounds. Really into like I really dove into like some different textural stuff.
I feel like we're seeing the prime you now.
Prime me.
Yeah, I think that degree gave you that like kerosene on the campfire and like I am that good. Here's music. You're gonna listen to it and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, you know,
You're not asking. You're no longer asking.
I hope you do, for everyone's sake. No, I just it was fun. It was a good release. It's a whole album. I've put out a lot of music. Most of it's free on Bandcamp, and the rest of it is on streaming services under Future Bard. Yeah, and then I've got another EP coming out under the same name called Wraith. A lot of vocal stuff on there. A lot of choppy, distorted drums. It's noisy. It's angry. It's fun.
It's us.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. I had a lot of fun making it. It got like every project I put into that title, I really want to get out of my comfort zone a little each time. So like with that
So you're just
last
putting
album-
that toe in the deep end. It just gets deeper every time.
Yeah, you got to dive in eventually. But the album I put out in January is called Ghost Live in My Parietal Lobe. And that one was really just like focusing on working with samples, different like audio effects like delay and stuff, a little bit of distortion. I had there's a song on there that just progressively like gets more distorted, and it's like the whole song's breaking down. I think it's very cool. I just geek out about stuff like that.
I think it's very interesting. It's a very interesting. I've never heard anything like it, and I'm like, you know what? I can mess with this.
Yeah.
I can mess with it.
Yeah, it's a little, it's weird because it's not quite EDM, but it doesn't, like the way it's made kind of falls under that umbrella. But like I don't see anyone dancing to it.
Give it time.
Okay.
Once it pops up in TikToks and stuff like that, then it'll just explode.
Yeah, TikTok. That's the move.
That's how I found out about the band Francis Forever. I didn't even know they existed until I heard it on TikTok. Like, you know what? I mess with her. Who are you?
I have no idea who that is. I'll check them out.
Yeah, check them out. Very great music. I like
Francis
it.
Forever?
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, it's been each one of those albums, like I try to dive into something that would like improve myself as a producer, like different concept, like with the Ghost album, like there's like one song with vocals on there, so I was like, okay, my instrumental's getting better. This time I need to work on like my vocals and like implementing more vocal techniques, different ways to warp them. So that's what Wraith is about. There's kind of like a loose concept to it of just like what a Grim Reaper would look like in modern day society. Just like, it'd probably be like doing crime or stuff, It's very like it gets portrayed as like this brooding, all like kind of in the background character, but put a different persona on it. It's like a different take. Yeah, and then there's so much vocal stuff in it. I rapped on it,
Didn't know you could do that.
I don't. I don't. Look, like if you ask me everything that I could do as like a session musician or an educator, like
You're there, and you can list off an entire.
well, like yeah, like I'm not like
To me, you're a genius, but to you,
I get by, but like if you ask me to list everything that I could offer for another musician, like saxophone,
you know what
do
you're
a little
capable
bit,
of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm a rapper, like, but I did it, and that was one of those things, like just kind of getting out of that box. And,
Nobody, you, Big J in the cut. You know.
yeah, like it was uncomfortable, and it sounded a little goofy, like like I hate the sound of my voice. It's awkward, but like, so the way around that is you just pitch it down and make it super distorted, and it's like, okay, now it sounds pretty hard.
like, okay, that tones down the anxiety a bit.
Yeah, like you just movie magic everything, and it works. Like, doesn't matter. Like no one's gonna be like, that's not his real voice. He's faking it. Like, no, ma'am, I actually sound like that. What? Like, you can just do
I'm
whatever
mad
you
you
want.
have a no, ma'am, actually. Don't do me, sis.
Yeah, yeah, it's very cool. Just getting to like there's not any rules to it, and that's what I like about it.
You don't like constrictions. That's one thing I do know about you. In the months that we've known each other, well, almost a year we've known each other. We're coming up on a year, by the way. But you don't like constrictions, and that's where you and I get along quite a bit because we are probably the most riskiest late night talk show on the air, period. Like, we get away with murder here. We really do.
Movie magic.
We really do. Like, we get away with a lot. Like, NBC would never. They look at us like, ooh, the ghetto, lock the door.
Oh, man.
Oh.
An episode of The Night Run drives by and just lock your doors.
Just lock your doors. Our first episode was rough.
It was.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Everyone was new.
We had to set the tone, and like, Jammer we didn't know what to do.
But
Like,
now
it's
when we
upset.
come in, or whenever we get back to normal, thank God that we're allowed to be together again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christ. We know exactly what to expect of each other. We don't have to say it, we just vibe. Versus the first meeting when everyone's sober. And, and you're like, oh, this is for real this time. People recognize your music from our intro.
Really?
Yes, my daughter loves that song.
Sweet.
Like, people love that song. Like, who's the band? Like, I actually found them by mistake. I wasn't looking for them. I just so happened to hear it, and I'm nosy, so.
We've got a killer origin story. Just
We really do. Who was the drunk one?
the what?
Like, someone was, like, slightly buzzed. Because we were all just vibing. We were so laid back. And I think, I'm going to go ahead and say it was all of us, and then we'll fact find later.
When was it?
I think our very first time meeting each other.
Like on 5th Street?
Yes.
Oh, it had to be Adam. I can't.
That was you, Dion.
Oh, so it was me.
Trying to blame our band. That was you.
I didn't,
I mean, like,
I
if
forgot
it-
it was me.
If it had to be someone in the band, it was probably Adam.
Well, besides
But-
me, that wasn't me.
Yeah. I don't know.
I miss him.
Yeah. We're yeah. It's getting to the right temperature for us to play street shows again.
I'm ready.
I'm so excited. It's like the money's nice, and hopefully they do that down on 5th thing.
But they block off the street again?
Oh man, they started blocking off the street last year so that
Because the
now-
sidewalk was not the move.
Yeah, no, like that, and that way, like with COVID, that way people have like more space, like without breathing on each other. There's room to spread out. Vendors can get more business down there because there's like 5th Street isn't like
It's very old-fashioned in regards to dimension. It's not the widest street in town.
right, and like with the shops down there, it's not like Lululemon and other like stuff you'd find in the Green. Like it's small businesses and like it's
Heart
good
Mercantile,
shops.
Toxic Brew, Ned Peppers.
Yeah,
Toxic Brew is dangerous. I love it.
I've frequented Blind Bob's more.
I haven't been there yet.
Blind Bob's are really good. I enjoy it. They have a killer quesadilla. Just so good.
I do love quesadillas.
God. Yeah. Every bar down there will ruin your life in the best way. Like
Facts.
so good.
Facts.
Yeah, and like that down on 5th, I think was really important for a lot of those shops. And it helped us out a lot. Something about just having that entire street and not being confined to the sidewalk and like blowing in people's faces, like, and having the bucket out like several feet in front of us, like, we made so much more money than like any other street show in years past. Like, it was great, and it was consistent too.
And now we're not grounded anymore.
Yeah, no, we're not. Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it. You know, obviously, like, keep your masks on.
Please keep your mask on. I'm tired of it. Just wear them. It's not that bad.
This is super adjacent, but like when you're in a classroom and there's like, I want to say like 15 kids in there, and then they all wear their masks like from here to here, and it takes all of me to not just flick them in the nose and be like, hey, where do you breathe out of? Like, is it your chin? Like, pull your mask up. Like, teaching's a labor of love.
It is. It really is. That's why I didn't go into it. Because
I am out of love.
He does not have the loves, ladies and gentlemen. He's fed up. So next month is March, which means return of Jammer the Band to the night run. Thank Christ.
That'd be good.
We still have the bandstand. We miss you guys.
Sweet.
I'm excited to have you back. I don't know how I'm going to react because I've been without you guys for 4 months, so hopefully we don't have to learn each other all over again, and it's just like old times.
I feel like it'll go pretty smoothly, as long as like I don't know. I think it'll be fine.
Because I think after we figure out our sound and how you guys wanted to be set up, we were running smooth right up until this popped off.
Yeah. I think once we, I can't even think. There might be like a couple hiccups, but I can't even think of what they would be.
Probably because you guys haven't been in the studio in so long. Maybe that could be it.
Maybe. Well, yeah, and like as long as we get some, I feel like as long as we get some street shows in before, we'll be fine.
Oh, the street shows will be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like even that, that'll help with. Excuse me. That'll help with here. That's like free rehearsal. That's like paid rehearsal.
That is paid rehearsal.
It is paid rehearsal. It is such a sweet gig.
Because from your point of view, working here on the night run, and you guys, it's literally the best job any of us has ever had because it doesn't feel like work. We're just vibing.
Yeah.
We had a lot of great guests. Can't think of which one. I think when we played Family Feud, that was a highlight. That was that was awesome.
That was so stressful. And like, did Dallas pull those answers?
I don't know.
Got me messed up. Like whoever found those answers, like.
How about the blow up
survey
doll?
says-
I'm like, that's not up there.
Yeah, survey says like something completely that should not be up there. Like,
Lettuce.
It's like Family Feud, but they just surveyed like Fargo, Nebraska, or whatever, or
some town that really has like all of 3 citizens and a cow.
Yeah, and they asked the cow.
They asked the cow. We do got new games planned, so that'll be fun. Nice.
Wow.
You stay out of this.
That's staying in there.
Hold on.
What is happening?
I like how he's still trying to be slick.
Oh. Where's the mic?
I'm so upset.
Check 1, 2.
He did.
Oh, and by the way, we got those survey questions from Manawak, Wisconsin. Let me keep removing.
Tell your folks I said hey.
Tell your folks I says hi. All right. Oh, you betcha, yeah. All right.
I'm so tired.
So yeah, whenever y'all are good.
I'm so tired.
Cool.
As you can see, I guess the chemistry has not went anywhere.
No.
But next month is great. Our next show is St. Patrick's Day month.
Sweet.
We love recreational drinking.
It's gonna be so good.
And you in charge of the music here on the Night Run. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of interesting stuff planned that I can't wait to see emerge here in the said studio. We're still the only talk show in the minor leagues with the band, period. So
Nice.
We're doing pretty good. People ask about the band all the time. So
Sweet.
We're doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, you can catch us down on 5th Street most weekends once it warms up, which is like, it's warm enough now. We might, I don't know if we're gonna hit it today, but like, it's gonna happen soon.
Do you guys have a sub drummer?
I'm looking.
You looking?
So hard. It's rough.
Because it'd be rough without Hoyt, because I love that guy.
Hoyt-
He's the baby.
Hoyt is.
But I'm so proud of him.
He's. I can't say enough good things about him. He's consistently just a positive person in the band. Like whenever, like, if I'm grumpy or like butting heads with anyone, like he's like just anything he says, it'll just like immediately turn the situation around. And like from when he first joined Jammer, how many years ago? Like he pretty much joined on New Year's Day, but I can't remember what year. 2019 maybe? Yeah, so like 2 years. Just like from when he first joined to now, it's like night and day. He improved so much and so fast. Like it's incredible. Favorite drummer to play with of all time.
I like him.
Hands
He's
down.
the best. A lot of people, when you look at talk shows and you see the band, I'm like, yeah, on camera they look like they're the best of friends, but then off camera it's a whole different deal, and we're not the case.
Yeah, no,
Like we're not. We actually genuinely care about each other.
we're
We
the
get
worst-
along very well.
We're the worst group of people to have in a room together.
And then you throw me and Salad into the mix, and it's just good. Yeah, he's Salad. He's been Salad since freshman year.
I have not heard him called that. That's incredible.
He's Salad. Ain't that right, Salad?
Salad's the name, bringing you this show is the game.
Salad.
Bingo. Yes, that's Salad.
Yeah.
2 L's, don't put it with 1 L. I get very angry. 2 L's, please. Thank you.
Salad.
See.
Second L silent.
Oh. F.
Jesus Christ has entered the chat. So we can't wait to see you back here with the guys next month.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I don't even know when our next taping day is. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But we missed you. We can't wait to have you guys back. It's going to be like good times all over again. We have to party.
Absolutely.
We have to party. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnathan Baldwin. I want to thank my other guest, Whitney Brewer. She was amazing. And, of course, Diana Outten. This has been The Night Run. Salad in the control room, bring you the 99s and 2000s. I'm Dion McElrath, the guy with the show. Y'all be good. Good night.